All right. Perfect. You ready?
Yes.
Absolutely. So my first question would be, and I've gotten a little bit from when you told me your background. So my question would be, have you been in my seat? And what I mean by that is, I call it the craving seat, where metaphorically speaking, I would say with food, you know, how you've had a craving for a certain food, and you smell it, and once you smell it, you then have a taste for it, and then you have a taste for it, your mouth start watering for it, right? So based on your success, have you been in my seat? Where I am, I want it. It's there, I want it, I'm doing everything to get it, right? How did you feel?
I will let you know, sister, we're in the same seat, right? So I guess to some people, what they perceive as success, right? For me, so I've learned two things, and maybe this will help you out. One thing I had to learn is you have to live in the moment, right? And I say that because most times, by the time people see stuff that I do, I've already celebrated it and I'm already on to the next thing. And sometimes it's hard to live in the moment because I'm thinking about the next thing already, right? So I just brought my coach to Rockford, who's a billionaire, and I set up meetings for as many people wanted to meet with him as possible to get free game, right? So Think Big met with him, the mayor, all kind of people took advantage of the opportunity to come meet with my coach and get all this free game from him. And it's one of my ways to bring back to the city. Like, yo, you don't have to get it from me. You're going straight to one of my sources, right? One of my sources that gives me all kind of crazy game. Now you're getting it from him directly. And for me, though, while he was here and while he was giving like the keynote and stuff, I had to remind myself, you got to breathe in and live in the moment, because I'm already thinking, my mind is already into like September. And I'm already seeing like, okay, in October, we're going to do this. The first semester of school is going to be like this. I'm going to have all these victories. And I had to come to this point where I had to realize, like, you have to take time to appreciate the successes that you have. When other people are seeing success, it's there for real, and you have to take time to appreciate it. So I'm in your seat now. You talk about cravings, like this is what I do 24/7, 365. Most people that think they want to hang around me don't, because it's cool the first day, right? Like I had this brother say to me, I wish I could be a boss like you and have employees and tell other people what to do and, sit back and relax. And I was like, if you think that I sit back and relax and I don't do no work, I was like, you got the game all the way messed up. Like I work, I work. I ain't gonna say I don't do hard work like factory work, right? But it's work all day. Like I'm always email campaigns, email marketing. Like I wear so many hats that I'm trying to get rid of. But even as I get rid of hats, I'm a worker. Like this is what I love to do. So when you love it, it doesn't feel like work. It's fun for me. Like being on podcasts, even if I get asked the same question 100 times, it's fun for me, right? Going, doing interviews, being on the news, being on the radio, it's fun for me. Doing whatever. If I had to teach the same entrepreneurship class over and over and over, I could, because that's where my passion's at. So I could do like us meeting, having this conversation. More than likely with most people, it'd be like 2 hours later, I'm still on 10, ready to go. And they're like, I'm ready to go home. But I do this, and people get burnt out coming around me because I'm like, listen, we got, all these things got to get done. We got to do this like this today. And they're like, all right, you get through a day. And then the next day you turn around like, we did all that yesterday. Yeah, but this is today's work. And then you turn around and the next day, and it's not even that it's like hard work. It's just the consistency. One of the things about having those cravings is you learn a lot about yourself and how consistent you can be. If you can be consistent every single day, you're really about that life. It's not about the days when you smile and it's easy. It's about the days when you want to cry, you're ready to quit, you want to give up, you want to throw in a towel, you're ready to wave the white flag. Those are the days when you really find out what you're made of, right? And so I don't know if you ever heard the saying or not. I forget the origins of it, but it's something about like a Spanish general that came to come to war, like in, I don't know, Brazil or wherever it was. They ended up in like South America, and all his troops were tired from fighting. They had been fighting all these wars and they were tired. And he was like, all right, this will be the last war. And he's like, if you guys don't like it, we can go home. So I sent everybody to meet on the beach. Everybody came and met on the beach. And while him and all his soldiers were on the beach having a speech, he told his other general, go burn the boats. So they went back and they burned the boat. So at that point, the only option the soldiers had was fight or die. Absolutely. And that's how entrepreneurship, that's how your coaching got to be. It's got to be like, you got to burn the boats. You got to be like, ain't no going back. Because like where I came from, evictions and repossessions and cars being repoed, lights out, almost being homeless, losing job after job after job. Like where I'm from, ain't no going back. It's either this or death, right? Absolutely. And that's how you satisfy that craving. It's like, yo, at the end of the day, you're like, I got these things accomplished, but I got all these other things to get accomplished. And it drives you. Like you can get up. You don't need alarm clocks. You don't need whatever. Like you just on 10. So I've been where you're at because I'm there now. Okay. And I haven't got to a point where I'm so satisfied, like I just don't want to do nothing. Like I want to work. There's no amount of money we've made. There's no success that we've had. There's no network I've built. There's no relationship I have that satisfied the hunger to not go out and like dominate. Like I want to dominate, outwork people, be the best. I want to have something to offer that if I die tomorrow, then people can say my star's still shining bright 100 years from now. So I'm there with you, sis. My craving is real.
Thank you. Thank you. I try to look at it as, I say airport and a flight, where I was at the airport, just kind of, and this is how I kind of put my experience with it. At the airport, you're just kind of waiting for your flight. But I have to think, well, in anything that you kind of start, that's the flight there. You go through the turbulence stage, it may seem a little like it's too much right now. But once you get out of that stage, smooth sailing in the sky, So now I'm boarding. Now I'm ready. I'm not in the airport no more. Just like, I've walked through the doors, checked in. Now I'm boarding and now I'm ready. So that's where I'm at with it. Great things. I know there's a lot of great things in store for me. I will say my next question for you. What did you do when the doors closed or when the opportunities didn't present itself? What did you do?
All right. 2 ways to answer the question. I'll give you both.
Okay.
Number one. All right. So number one, and this is, excuse my vulgarness, this is being recorded, so I won't be super vulgar, but F they tables. All right. If they won't give you a seat at their table, make your own table. I've never been about trying to sit at somebody's table. I've always been like, yo, if I make my own table, it's going to get me to other tables. Right. Oh, yeah. So most people think like, yo, if I could just meet this person, if I could just do this, if I could just do that. If you go hard for yourself, that's when people will bring you to other tables. Like I was just on the morning meetup with David Shands the other day. And in the morning meetup, that was a conversation. It was like, yo, how do you get to the table with all these different people? And I've done this piece a couple of different times. I had this, I don't know what you want to call it, social media content that I put out called How to Attract Millionaires to Your Inner Circle. And it's literally people like, mess the game up. You're like, yo, people always ask me, yo, introduce me to such and such. And I'm like, if I introduce you to them, what are you going to do with the introduction? Right. Some people, if you meet them at the wrong time, they can't even help you. Most people won't. Because when you come to them, what value are you bringing them? Right. But if you work hard enough, if you bust your tail and you do what you got to do, as you build your table, other people are going to see that table like, yo, what's up? What's at that table? Right. Yeah. And they're going to come to you to ask that question. So other people's table don't even matter to me. Like I'm going to keep building my table, and those who want to feast with me, come on, feast with me. So here's the science to it though, right? Here's the other part. This is not vulgar at all. This is the science, right? In the universe, all right, and this is what I teach this in a lot of my coaching courses, right? In the universe, you have the atom. The atom, the atom is the building block of all creation. There's nothing that exists that's not atom, right? Even empty space, right? Okay. An atom that's not moving is in a state of inertia, right? We learned this like, I don't know, 5th grade science, right? If an atom has a force upon it, it begins to vibrate, right? All of us are just vibrating atoms combined to make a human being, right? Atoms that are vibrating or spinning, right, or rotating, they have 2 forces that they create called centrifugal force and centripetal force, right? Which is the equivalent if you think about like taking a bath when the water starts going out at the end. If you hear it, but you don't see it, right? But sooner or later, you get the little tornado at the end.
Oh yeah.
The little tornado is those forces, and those tornadoes is causing all the water to be drawn to it, right? That is, if you can understand this concept, you can be successful in any business, right?
Okay.
The atom in the beginning, when it's going from inertia to a state of motion, it takes more energy to cause that atom to rotate than any other time of its rotating, right? When it's rotating super fast, when it's vibrating at a high level, doesn't take as much energy as when it first starts, right? When the atom first starts rotating, it's just on its own force. There's nothing there that will help the atom, right? But as it begins to rotate more and increase the centripetal and centrifugal force, now things begin to get drawn onto it, right? In your business, when you first start, you got to put more energy into that thing than at any other point in time of your business. And the people that you like, yo, if I just knew such and such that would help me, my business would blow up. They're not coming, right? In the beginning, you got to go find the people. You got to reach out to them, right? You got to call them. You got to email them. You got to jump on their website. You got to go find those people, right? The money that you like, yo, if I just had this money, I could be able to do X, Y, and Z, right? But it ain't coming. You got to go figure it out. You got to figure out how to turn $1 into $100, right? All the things that would make your business pop are not there. But the more successes you have, right? The more your atom begins to rotate, all of a sudden one day, like somebody's going to call you like, yo, can you help me with such and such? You're going to be like, whoa, what's going on, right? And before you know it, you have a relationship with the top people in your city, you know, millionaires, you know, billionaires, because just like the atom that's rotating, in the beginning, you're working on your own force, and you got to prove through consistency that you're going to get strong enough to draw into things to you. Also, what happens as that atom rotates, it begins to expand. As the matter spins, it begins to as the atom begins to rotate, it expands. And so for us, we want to expand our businesses, right? We want to expand what we're over. We want to expand our territory, but we ain't got enough consistency yet, right? But the more consistency you have, the more revolutions you have rotating, the more you expand. And as you expand, you draw more onto you. And that's how you become successful in business. And so to answer your question, that very iota of where we start off in life as a single atom, if we follow that blueprint, we can be successful in anything. Just realize that it takes consistency over time, and that consistency will bring you everything that you need.
Yes, I agree. And it's so funny that you said that, because I called myself, I said, hey, I got to be a friendly bully, because it's so funny that you use that to replicate like what we're talking about, because I did that to you. I post and I said, I'm tuned in, and I said, I'm going to DM him, and boom, here we are. So that right there, yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
My third question would be, what made you become an entrepreneur, and what is your goal out of it? What made me become an entrepreneur is failure, right? I failed. I have so many failures. It's not like when I fail now, it's fun. My failures now are fun. You ready?
These was the tough failures that hurt, right? Like when I was writing my first book, I was going over the fact that I was fired from like 25 jobs, right? And I was like, yo, the universe kept sending me the same message over and over and over. And I was too out of alignment to hear the universe's message, or to hear God's message, or to hear whatever higher power you want to call it. I didn't see the message because all I was told my whole life was that you go to school, you get a good job, get an education, get a good job, and that's how you become successful. But the thing was, so here's some of my background, right? I went to college, but I dropped out early, probably because I was doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing, right? Young Black man, all the stereotypes, that was me. And in me doing that, people were saying like, yo, you're smart, you're in school, you got straight A's. But everybody I knew that went to school, they had a degree, was working at the same jobs I was working at. So I'm like, yo, you got a degree and you're in $100,000 debt. At least I don't have a degree and I'm not in debt, but we both miserable together, right? Yeah. So all of these pain points in my life is kind of what led us to this idea for the school. I asked myself at a certain point, me and my wife were having a conversation, because we looked to build a school, But when we looked it up, it said that it costs anywhere between $300,000, $500,000 to $1 million to build a private school. So it was discouraging, like, well, we can't do that. We can't afford it, right? Until, of course, entrepreneurship, innovation, all that stuff kicked in. It was like, oh, anybody can do this, right? It don't cost a lot. And so failure really drove me to become an entrepreneur. Nobody around me gave me, I had all this, I was an avid reader, and I was reading about everything except for business and entrepreneurship, right? Okay. And nobody gave me the game. Like, nobody was like, yo, go read Think and Grow Rich. Go read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Go read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Go read Richest Man in Babylon. Go read, Start With Why. Nobody gave me that game. Right. And so I was brilliant with what I had. I was a community activist. I loved working in the community. I was helping all these people out. And it dawned on me, with all the people I helped out, if I died today, nobody will remember me outside of those individual families, because I haven't built a system. I haven't built something that's worth building, that's legacy work, right? I've only built something on an individual personal basis. And so I was searching and looking for a way out. Okay. And when I found out, I think the moment clicked for me, the book that did it for me was Think and Grow Rich, right? The moment I had Think and Grow Rich, I was like, yo, life, I had so many breakthroughs. I was like, life's never going to be the same. And from that moment forward, I was like, yo, even to this very day, any client I deal with, any prospect, any students in my school, first thing they ask me, I'm like, yo, you gotta go read this book. Like,
Robert, is it Robert Kiyosaki or Robert Kiyosaki?
No, Robert Kiyosaki is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Think and Grow Rich is Napoleon Hill.
Okay, so I have to get onto that. Okay.
So yes, Think and Grow Rich changed my life, right? I was like, yo, this is like mind blowing, right? And then from there, I started getting all these books, and I'm like, yo, why has nobody told me all this time? But it drove me to want to start the school and be like, yo, I want to give this to children at 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18. So they don't have to go through all the pain points I went through. And that's really, even when I had my product line and we opened our beauty supply store and all that stuff, like I had it, but I was never passionate about it. It's just a way to make money. And I was like, well, having a job made me make money, but it doesn't make me happy. But having a school, it's a different ballgame. Because now I've created an institution. Now I've created something that less than 1% of Black folks have in the country that I can duplicate and replicate. And I can not only solve problems in Rockford, I can solve problems in Houston, where we're building schools. I can solve problems in Atlanta, Compton, New York, Louisiana. You see what I'm saying? So now it's a bigger thing. So for me, entrepreneurship was like for me, entrepreneurship is like the best solution for the Black community to, reverse some of the social engineering, the drug problems, and the domestic abuse, and, all the disrespect of our women, and just all these issues we have because not that we don't have money, we mismanage money, right? That financial literacy is missing. And then we don't understand that like in Rockford, people think Chrysler is the cream of the crop. And I'm like, yo, what you're making at Chrysler, I can show you how to make in a day. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just not because I'm smarter or better. I just know something you don't know. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just know something you don't know. So because I know that, I can do that. And most of us just haven't been introduced to that. So for me, entrepreneurship was like, yo, when I die, I want them to say, yo, he was a real one. Yo, this dude changed the game. He built a legacy that lived on long after him. Right. So for me, that's what makes me want to be an entrepreneur.
Okay. So the goal, what is your goal out of being an entrepreneur, is to teach people? Is that fair to say, or what is your goal?
Couple goals. Goal number one, every entrepreneur that's honest, I need to make a lot of money, right? Because what did Jay-Z say? Jay-Z said you can't help the poor if you're one of them, which I tried, but it's very hard. You can't help the poor if you're one of them, right? So, but not just make money. I'm not a huge materialistic person. So it's not just make money. Like, I want to do the things I want to be able to do, go on vacation when I want, or, I don't know, buy things that I want when I want to be able to buy them, or have the house or the car or whatever. Those things are cool. But at a certain point, how many houses can you have? How many cars can you have? How many, like, I don't want to be the guy that's like, yo, I got 20 cars, unless it's like something I'm into, but I'm not into that, right? I got 20 cars, but the community I came from, the people still starving. You know what I mean? Like, for me, my goal is to not only be able to make money, but my goal is really to be able to help change the conditions in our community. That's my ultimate goal. It's like, you know, I don't want to see, I'm tired of going to funerals for our young people. I'm tired of seeing mothers strung out. I'm tired of seeing, you know, just abusive situations that could be fixed if we just had a little bit more knowledge on how to change our condition ourselves. So
right.
It's personal for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. And to add on and to answer the question myself, like I said, when I wrote them down, I did a whole Q&A thing. So for myself, I would say entrepreneurship, the reason why, what makes me strive for it is because, I mean, just to be 100% real, I don't want to work for someone else in my entire life, you know? And I mean, it helps with me, my upbringing, it helped with structure and discipline, where I can only spend as much as I have to kind of structure and discipline. Okay, that's fine. But my mindset where I am today, I can do that without working for someone else. And I point this way because I work for a pharmaceutical company. I work in home, which is convenient for me. And I'm a pharmacy technician. So that's why I'm pointing to my computer system like, hey, I a lot of you too much longer, but and to find my purpose, to do something in my purpose that aligns with my purpose, to gain control over my life, and not be punching a clock and working again for someone else. Also, the flexibility for me, I'm able to do things and not have to, again, be on someone else's time, other than my own and my clients and yours. I'm on your time right now. You gave me this great opportunity to speak with you, financial freedom, definitely, that's another thing. My peace, my happiness. I have 2 kids, so, and I have to be established in order for them to be established because I have to teach them. Generational curses, things that I weren't taught. I mean, I'm able to teach them and more now. When I say them, I mean my kids. I'm able to break generational curses because growing up, like my parents or the members who I were around, family members and friends, they kind of go by the book. But who's to say that that's right? Sometimes you have to be a writer of your own. You know what I mean? And my legacy. So those are just a few things that what made me become, look into this whole entrepreneur thing. And my little sister, she's been to college. I've been to college. I stopped going to college. I said, you don't really need a degree for those things. You know what I mean? And like, you can really get out here and get it on your own. It's okay to have that knowledge. But me, I kind of looked at it as some things can be a scam, work.
It's true.
College can be a scam, and it's all, they tell you to go to school and, get a degree, you'll make more money, but they're not telling you about the loans. Now you're in debt, and they tell you, okay, get a bachelor because it's better than a master. But yeah, that's true. You make more money, but that's a bigger loan you have to pay. You know what I mean? So they're not telling you certain things. And I'm here to tell you though, I mean, I'm keep it real, So that's why I've become, and my goal is to reach other people, change other lives. Like I said, I wish it was more of you. I wish it was more of me. And to have that knowledge, we can be stripped away from a car. We can be stripped away from clothes, but you cannot take what's inside of us. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. So another question, if you have a little more time, what did you struggle with and what advice would you give me when encountering those same struggles? Because I'm sure I'm going to encounter some of those things. So what would you say that you struggle with, and what advice would you give me that'll help me kind of when I knock on that door?
I would say, and this is an easy one, for most people, right, especially when you're first getting started, like the lack of clientele, because it's like the atom, right? The atom is, it's not drawing people into you yet, right? And so because it's not drawing people in, people are like, who are you? I don't know you. That's really one of the hardest things. My billionaire coach told me, he said, your product and what you're doing is perfect, right? You've solved a perfect problem with what you have. Your biggest problem now is you don't have the visibility you need
Okay.
to execute on the level that you want to execute, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for all of us, and no matter really how big you get, this is always a thing. If you think about Walmart, Nike, Apple, all those people advertise and market every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure everybody on the planet knows who McDonald's is, but they advertise every day. Nike advertises every day because it's all about staying visible, right? And so for entrepreneurs, we're first getting started, or even if we've been in a few years, we're visible to some, but not visible enough, right? The fact that you live in Rockford and we're just now meeting, which means you probably don't know about my school, it means I'm not visible enough, right? Before I go outside the state, before I go to like, who knows me in Houston, who knows me in Cali, who knows me, you know, because we have students across the country in our school, which is cool. That means somebody there knew me, but not enough people know me. How do I become more visible? And you're going to run into that. How do I become more visible? Because as you grow, if in Rockford you go get 50 clients tonight, you're not gonna be satisfied with it. You're like, yo, how do I get 100? You know, it's a certain point, like, yo, how do I reach people outside of Rockford? How do I let other people whoever fits my avatar, how do I let them know that I exist, for them to come do business with me, not just for me to make the money, but so I can impact their life, right? And that's one of the things as entrepreneurs, you don't get to a certain point, like, yo, I need to impact more. I want to have a bigger impact, change more lives. Of course, always make more money, but at a certain point, you'll be like, okay, the money's there, right? But change more lives, have more freedom, impact more people. That's something you naturally, you stay consistent, you run into it. Like it's one of those things that you just can't avoid because it's part of the growth process. Yeah, man, I'm tired of doing 10 clients. Tired of doing 10 clients a month. I need 15.
I wouldn't agree. Absolutely. Okay, so being visible. Okay. Absolutely. All right. This is something that you spoke about during this Zoom here. I was going to say, what books or videos would you recommend me read or watch? And I heard you say, about the book.
Absolutely. So I have like a book list that I do for my clients, and I have I did this thing. I was just telling one of my clients yesterday, the client I met with yesterday, I was telling him how I put this book out called The Success Manual, right? And in the Success Manual, I had to do it the poor man's way because I didn't understand like how to create a funnel, how to have my website, generate traffic. I didn't know none of that stuff. So I just had to go what I knew. And in that book, I put a page on there of like people to follow on YouTube, right? Something one of my coaches said to me, he said, go look at the last 20 videos you watched on YouTube. If out of those last 20 videos, the majority of those videos have nothing to do with what you say you want to do, you're not really interested in it, right? Like it should be like, not that you can't have other stuff. Like if you go to mine, you're going to see Breakfast Club. You'll probably see like Donkey of the Day or something, some levity, right? But you're also going to see like, how to, reverse credit such and such, how to, turn my S Corp to get zero tax balance, how to, 8 apps or 8 websites you never knew about that can help you market. Like you're going to see stuff that deals with my mindset, right? Because it's all about mindset. So YouTube University is a great place to go. I tell people there's so many brilliant people online. Of course, I'm a product of, and I'm in the network of course, David Shands and Donnie Wiggins. So I'm always going to push like Social Proof Podcasts, Brain Picker Pod. Actually, me and my wife were on Brain Picker Podcast a couple months ago. So I think that's the biggest podcast we've done. So we were on Brain Picker Podcast. Of course, like Earn Your Leisure, In the Vault, like those podcasts that are like that come from our community and it's us talking entrepreneurship. I love it. And I know a lot of these people too. I got like relationships with these people. So that's cool. Valuetainment is great with Patrick Bet David. He's got like, if you start from the beginning to the end, you can get so much information for free that it's just insane. It will turn your game up crazy. Who else? I follow the 7-Figure Squad. I follow there's so many people with so much information online. 19 Keys and who else? Marcus Rosier. He's a phenomenal. I got so much stuff from him. I don't know. I just know a lot of people and I follow all these people on YouTube, right? I have a list. I'm like, just go through this list, follow all these people. Books. is like, of course, Think and Grow Rich is my Bible. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like those two books, I think, is enough for any entrepreneur to be successful beyond means. Everything else is icing on the cake. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know, Richest Man in Babylon, ABCs of Closing, 48 Laws of Power, Art of War. 50 Cent got a new book out that's crazy. I love it. I think it's called like Hustle Harder or something. Whatever the new 50 book is, it's great. Everybody should read it and apply it right away. Just, I don't know. I got a gang of books, right? I'm an avid reader. And the thing is with YouTube, you can have the audio book for free on YouTube. So while you're at the gym working out or grocery shopping, whatever, you can be plugged in your car. I do a lot of podcasts, a lot of, I'm always trying to figure out what's new and what's the next information that I need to know, right? So I'm in a lot of networks also. I'm in the Morning Meetup Network. I'm in ATS Business Unit Network, and I'm also in Every Black Entrepreneur. So I'm always trying to surround myself around entrepreneurs that are higher level than me, that can pull me up to where I want to be, that can inspire me, that the synergy alone is going to make me rich, it's going to make me successful, it's going to make me, as long as I stay connected to those people. So networks, YouTube videos, your books, mindset is 80 to 90% of being successful as an entrepreneur deals with your mindset. If your mindset is good, the other 10% of executing is nothing if you got the right mindset. So
Thank you. Who inspires you? You know what, you just answered this. My next question would have been, who inspire you, or who and what groups do you follow on Facebook that'll help? And you just answered two questions in one. You did. What networking tips would you give that'll help? What would you say? And I would, to give a better, I guess, to kind of follow up with that question, when it comes down to networking tips, I don't have an Instagram, right? I thought about making one. Would you say something that I can use to network? I have a Facebook. So becoming more visible on Facebook, that I can do. I do that on, my Snap. I always do like something inspirational. I'll do that. I took a break from Facebook, but now I'm like, you know what? Let me clean it up. Let me get rid of why I left, and then let me continue my journey on with this here. Because I always used to post and say inspirational things on Facebook. Then I took it to Snap because I see people watching, the Snap. And so what networking tips would you give me, or what social media platforms should I try?
Well, social media platforms is going to kind of be based on your personality. But I will say this. If you do some heavy and intense research into social media, you'll realize Facebook has an older crowd. Older crowd means there's more money on Facebook, but your notoriety is going to get built on Instagram, right? Okay. And at this point, TikTok also is major, right? So because Instagram is now trying to compete with TikTok, because TikTok is whooping Instagram's butt, right? So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. You're like, oh wait, you're just naming off all the social media platforms, right? Now I have a LinkedIn page. I don't think I've been on there in a year, right? Some people make a lot of money on LinkedIn. I just haven't. But what I have found is if you're on Instagram and Facebook, there's a lot of potential to leverage your networking opportunities. Like I've met so many coaches on Instagram that it's insane. Like it's, I don't use social media to like talk about my daughter's cats. I go on social media because I'm trying to make money, right? Everything. So think of it like this. Everything I post on social media, for the most part, I try to have some levity every once in a while because people sound too serious, but it's usually a lead magnet. There's a reason I don't post stuff without a reason. There's a reason I post. Like if I'm posting, it's a lead magnet. And even if it only draws a few people in, the few people that ask me the follow-up question of what I posted, now I got you in my funnel. Oh, you haven't been to my website? Oh yeah, go check that out. You're right. Everything is always like, yo, I need to consistently build my clientele, consistently build. So another good one is Clubhouse. It's not as, it's not as robust as it was when it was like exclusive, but you can still go on Clubhouse from time to time and like get, like I was able to build a large following using Clubhouse on Instagram. So I would go to Clubhouse, speak, everybody's in the room. Oh, go follow me on Instagram. My Instagram page will go up. And of course I got deleted. So now I'm back building, but that's for social media though, right? Study social media because it's the trend, it's the wave of the future, the metaverse, advertising, if you run like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, Google AdWords, that is something you need to know as an entrepreneur that's going to help you get more clients easier. As far as networking, networking is a little bit different, right? Network with a purpose. Like,
yeah.
I can, people will say it's networking, right? If I introduce you right now, like, yo, let's jump on the phone, call some of my millionaire friends up, right? Like, if I introduce you to somebody, I have a guy in town, it's a white guy, and he owns the largest, it's a certain type of construction that they do. It's really special construction. Like, they remove like asbestos and lead, and they do all these environmental things, right? It's a cool relationship to have, but can he really help you? Right? Can he really help you? So just because somebody is there doesn't mean they can really help you. And if we don't have something of value to offer, we can't really help them. Right.
Right. Absolutely.
And the best way to build relationships is always, the way I've been successful is every time I come to somebody, I'm like, yo, I have this value to offer you. Come be a guest speaker at my school. Right. And then when you be a guest speaker, there's only 3 Black-owned schools in Illinois that are private schools. There's only 3 Black-owned private schools in Illinois that are recognized by the Illinois State Board of Education. My school is the 3rd. We're the biggest. We're the only K-12. Yo, if you come to my school and speak, I'll record it, give you the recording, and you can use it as marketing on your business. Every entrepreneur that I've talked to is like, yo, I want to take advantage of that. It's a special opportunity, right? I give them value, they give value back, right? I build relationships, they donate to the school, they buy our children's books, they, facilitate whatever, I don't know, whatever they do, right? So there's a fair exchange there in that situation. Some people I've wanted to meet, and I'm glad I didn't. So I'm like, yo, if I would have met this person at this time, I just would have ruined the relationship. I wouldn't have anything to offer. And even though that person is rich, like, they're not about to give me free money. So, when you network with a purpose. But one of the best ways to network is to immerse yourself in the culture. So those 3 groups I told you about, the morning meetup, the morning meetup is Monday through Friday, and Central Time is from 7 to 8 a.m. I pay to be in that group every month because, not just David Shands, right? Who now I have a relationship with him, not just David Shands, but now all these people in his network, I have a relationship with them. And now I'm surrounded by 500 other Black entrepreneurs who all focused on entrepreneurship every day. So now clients, impact, freedom, opportunities, all kind of things come out of just being in the environment. That's 7 to 8. My 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, if I'm not in session at school, then I jump in ATS Business University. And now there's another 30, 40 millionaires in this group. And there's all these people. But now when I go to Houston to build a school, I have an entire network of people to help me because I built this relationship out of Houston, right? Every Dot Black, same thing. They're at night. I don't catch them as often. I'm usually working by that point. But if I can catch them, they made it possible. My school last year got, so, hold on one second. Samaya, where's Samaya at? Is she asleep? Can you go wake her up and tell her to text her mother? Tell her I'm on Zoom. Tell her I'll be on the board Zoom in 20 minutes when we start. Every Dot Black, they got my school an invitation to the 100th centennial of Black Wall Street in Tulsa. So I was able to take like 20 students to Tulsa, Oklahoma for like 4 or 5 days to be featured as the future of Black entrepreneurship in the country. And they got to meet celebrities. They got to meet, like, there was Panthers was out there. They got to meet so many different people, beautiful experience, travel out of the state, just a beautiful, beautiful experience. And all that came from networking and being immersed in the culture. So, like, get immersed in the culture and meet these people. And even if you don't have, even if like y'all not directly have direct relationships, so many, the reason I get on so many podcasts because I know so many people. Like, I'm on probably 3 to 4 podcasts a week. And it's just because I just meet so many different entrepreneurs. And then when you do the bigger podcasts, all the smaller podcasts are like, yo, come be on my show, come be on my show, come be on my show. So then you're on all 8 podcasts. And if you do so many small podcasts and the big podcasts, like, yo, you must be popular. Let me bring you back to my platform. And you get the bigger podcast. And so, I mean, it just, circle rotates. So network with a purpose and surround yourself around the people who are in the environment with the energy that you need to feed you every day.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree, definitely. I was just telling someone that when you are, when you're at a table, whether it's yours, whether it's mine, I want to be able to provide something, you know, whether you come with the food, I come with the utensils. Now I'm helping you eat, you providing something for me, you know.
Absolutely.
Someone else come, they bring the water, you know, we all break a piece. I give you a utensil, you give them food, they give us something to drink. Now it's more, you know, they're offering something, you know. But when someone just pulls up a chair and just expect for you to just hear, it doesn't work like that. You have to be willing to do something. You have to come with something, because it just helps out, you know. You give and you get, you know, you get and you
Absolutely.
get. You have to be able to reciprocate that. You know, other than that, it's going to take from you. It's going to take from me, the person who provides water, because we enough for us. But when someone else comes in with something to offer, some way, some shape, some form, it's more for everyone. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Let's see, I think I'm down to my last question. What are some things that you've done or used? Okay, this is going to be a little, and what I mean by this, but what are some things that you've done or you've used that help your tongue in your mouth and the tongue in your shoes or on your shoes go in the same direction? And what I mean by that is, like, me personally, I don't want to say something that I'm not doing. My tongue is doing this, but the direction I'm going is doing this, you know? So what are some things that help you, or that help your tongue in your mouth and the tongue on your shoes move in the same direction?
Absolutely. I've always been like so put it like when I was younger, right? I got suspended from school from kindergarten all the way to my sophomore year every year for fighting, right? Every year without fail. The only years I didn't get suspended in school from fighting was my junior year and my senior year. I got expelled my junior year, but not for fighting, but I was able to come back my senior year. So I was a fighter, right? And I say that because, right, like I was the type of person that if I said it, it was all action. I was never the type of person, in none of those fights from kindergarten to my sophomore year was I the type of person to like walk up to the other kid and like, yo, I heard you said such and such, and like push them and you do the shoving thing. Like if I told you it was on, it was a green light. When I see you, I'm gonna see you, right? So I've been about that action. One too much talking going on. I'm about that action, right? And so that carried over to entrepreneurship. And for me, it's like by the time you hear me talking about it, it's already been executed, right? Like I will occasionally talk about like, yo, these are things we want to, but by the time I'm saying it, it's because it's already in motion, right? By the time other people see it, they're like, yo, he said he's gonna do such. Like I was telling people, yo, I'm bringing Antonio to Rockford. I'm bringing this billionaire. He's gonna be off it's already paid for. It's already done. Tickets already booked. He's on his way. I'm telling you what's about to happen because it's already in motion. Like, you know.
No one can prey on your downfall. No one can say, I hope, I wish, you know, that bad energy can't stop you. It's already done.
Yeah. So I like to, you know, even visionary, like when I talk about the future, my ideas for the future. So now if I'm talking like 5 years, 10 years down the road or whatever the case may be, I can see realistically how it can be done. Right. It looks impossible. I'm like my team in Houston right now, we're doing this campaign to get 50,000 donors to sponsor our school. Right. We want 50,000 people to donate $20 or $30 a month to our school as monthly subscribers. When they first gave me the number, I was like, 50,000? I gotta be able to see in my mind. Let me see, how do you get 50,000? Okay. Out of Rockford. Okay, can we just get 100 out of Rockford and then we'll work the country. Like 50,000. It's a large number, right? The goal is intimidated at first. Then it's like, okay, once you get one, you're like, yo, this could be done. All I gotta do is do that another 49,999 times, which is the consistency we talked about in the beginning, and then I'm there. So.
Okay, absolutely. I answered that question as well. What helped me like make sure the tongue in my mouth and the tongue on my shoe moves in the right direction is accountability for me, discipline and consistency. Those are three of of course there's more, but I would say those are the three main things. Holding myself accountable. You know, what are you not doing? Figuring that out. And then discipline what will keep me on track? I have to do it. What can I get rid of? What needs to stay, to make me stay on track and consistency. Definitely. I said that was my last question, but this is my very, very last question, right? And I know that you have to get ready to go. Wifey there, I seen the picture pop up. I said, yeah, okay, let me. What was some of the things you had to let go in order for you to be who you are today?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So in my younger days, right? Like me, so my youngest stages, I can remember this so vividly because the easiest thing for me to see was like at a certain point in my life I was like, yo, I was a pothead and we was like partying every day, right? We got to a point where we were like selling pharmaceutical usages, right? I guess it's legal nowadays, but whatever. Back then it wasn't. And every day we used to party, right? Like it was like nonstop every day. I had my own apartment. I had a car. My house was the tip. So we partied every day. One day, sitting down with my homegirls and some of her friends, we was at the table, everybody's getting high. And then she was like, yo, did you ever realize we spend all our money getting high, so we never do anything fun? And like, it was like a ton of bricks dropped on me and like, yo, just realized I'm wasting my life away. So then a second situation happened. Like I was trying to change my life, trying to do different stuff, whatever. And this girl came to me, and actually this girl now is a B-list celebrity in Beverly Hills. She's one of my day ones that I grew up with. And I should have followed her lead. She wrote a book like 15 years ago that put her in Hollywood. She's been there ever since. But she came to my house and she's like, yo, she said something to the effect of like, I thought you said you stopped smoking. And I was like, I thought you said you stopped smoking. But like the standard she put on me, it made me feel like, yo, I really don't need this in my life. And it made me change my life, right? I say that because it's visible to see. Like it's easy to recognize somebody that go from like smoking and drinking to stop. And now you're like, so while my friends was hanging out, I was in the library reading books, studying. Like I started dressing differently. I started talking differently. Then I started getting put in the public eye to speak, and I became a speaker. And all of a sudden, like my life just was changing, right? And I realized today that personal development, like I said, is 90% of being a successful entrepreneur, your mindset. So I know right now that the person I am right now cannot make $10 million in a year because I'm not that person. I need to become that person, right? There's a lot of things that I am right now that's good. It's better than I was then, but it's not good enough to become what I need to be. So for me, every day is about at least having 1% progress. Am I at least 1% better today than I was yesterday? Because at the end of 3 months, in a few days, I'm 100% completely new person. Now, within a year, if I could be 300% better, I'm getting closer and closer to the person I need to become to do the things in life that I want to do. So for me, every day is about that percent. Like, what am I doing to get better today? What did I learn? Did I get a new skill set? Did I meet a new person? Did I develop something new? Did I do something? Did I read a book? Did I do something that's going to take me to a new level that's going to make me at least 1% better than I was the day before? If I can do that, then that's how I know I'm on the road. If I have the consistent 1% days, let alone if you become 2% better. I don't know how you measure that, right? It's not like an actual goal that you can measure in metrics, but like, did I do something to become better today? And every day that goes by, even when I'm on vacation, I could be like in the islands, my feet kicked up on a white sandy beach. I'm like, yo, let me throw this audiobook on right quick. I gotta, because when it's in you, you know? So,
absolutely. So it's fair to say that some of the things you had to let go was bad habits and creating new good ones.
Even habits that I thought were good habits sometimes are not so good, right? Because sometimes stuff that got you, whatever got you to where you're at is not going to get you to where you want to be.
Oh, absolutely. It's a stepping stone.
So like I just posted on my Facebook page about, and I got this from, I don't know, you know Matt Simpson?
Matt Simpson. No. I don't. No, not that I recall.
Matt Simpson he's everywhere. He works for, I think right now he works for like the DCEO, but he's got like Wabongo Leadership Council, and he got a bunch of stuff going on. But we brought him in as the guest speaker for our school's graduation.
Okay.
And he talked about going to Africa recently and climbing, I think it's Mount Kilimanjaro, something like that, Kilimanjaro, something like that, right?
Uh-huh.
And I posted on my Facebook page recently about like climbing mountains.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, entrepreneurship is like climbing a mountain. Like
Yeah.
you want to bring everybody to the top, but you realize, first of all, everybody not even dressed for this climb, right? Everybody don't got what they need. Second of all, some people just want to be carried. They don't want to climb themselves. They just want to be carried. And then third of all, some people just don't have the right attitude. They don't respect the mountain. And so because attitude determines altitude, they're not going to get to the top of the mountain with you. They got to climb their own mountain. And so for me, I'm like, yo, you know what? I want to bring all these people to the top of the mountain, but only those who want to go. And part of that is people that I've met along my journey to help me climb the mountain, that I'm like, yo, we can go to the top of this mountain. Some of those people get to a certain spot where they're like, yo, we can't go no further. Like it's only for you to go further, and you can't take everybody with you. And it's hard when you have a big heart and you want to like help so many people. It's hard because you're like, yo, we can all go to the top. We can all celebrate together. Like we can all be there. But the higher up you go, you start realizing like I can't bring everybody with me. And
absolutely. My stage right now. Absolutely. I agree. That was all of my questions for you. But yeah, so this is, like I said, my life coaching. And I say that this is the second business. I have also a women empowerment business. I didn't mention that. And it's called Unity, Power, Respect, Women Empowerment. And when I say women empowerment, is nothing that bashes men at all. It's just to empower women, because I see that there has been a shift when it comes down to women, and a lot of them don't understand how powerful they are. You know, beside every king is a queen. They have to understand that that's very important. And I chose Unity, Power, Respect, Women Empowerment because if we stand united, we gain power, and with power we gain respect. And for it to be, and I did it based upon women, again, to empower. Like I said, my little sister, once I learned how to start my business, let's start you one. You know what I mean?
Do you know Janine Stevenson? She just had a event called Empower Her that she's done. She actually, I was actually a keynote speaker there. I was confused. I was like, I thought this was for women, but she was like, nah, men can come. But she has this thing called, or maybe it's entrepreneur. It's like a play on entrepreneur, but her is in there some type of way. And they just had this big piece that I think it would be great for. But yeah, that's somebody else I can introduce you to, because she does stuff quarterly, and she got like, I think the mayor just gave her like a key to the city for such and such something that she did. So she does this event. She does these events consistently, and she's big with a lot of female entrepreneurs. So that would be a good spot to get in and meet people that you never know what could come out. Clients, just relationships, whatever.
Yes, I'm willing. Like I said, I'm very, very, very teachable. I do not know everything. I don't. And I hope I don't come to you like I know everything. No, I'm learning I'm picking up. We
all are.
You know, I'm picking up the pieces. I'm picking up my pieces. I'm learning from you. I'm very, 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 very teachable. I love learning. Like I said, I don't like TV. When I get off of Zoom with you, I'm gonna take a peace walk, as I call it. I'm gonna go out and just think of just ideas, just refreshing things. So I'm here. We now can we can come together to create something, anything. Definitely. I'm also getting my bundle packages ready for my relationship coaching. That's going to be like one of the greatest books that I can find for relationship coaching. One of the greatest books I can find for financial literacy. So I'm getting my bundle packages ready to give. So, I mean, I'm on win.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, definitely. We're in the same city. We can connect, and just let me know. Let me know how it's going, and we can share stuff, and I'll make sure. And I'll probably, since things are opening back up, and since the recession is kicking butt, people are looking for solutions and ways out. So I'm thinking about maybe doing some programs, stuff like that. So it will get you on the bill so you can speak and get you out there.
Absolutely. Yes, just come on with it. Look, I'm open too.
Gotcha. Awesome.
So again, the things that I offer with my coaching, and I'm going to show you some shirts for my women empowerment as well. So
gotcha.
I'm going to end our Zoom. I know you have to go. So, I mean, if there's anything that I can help you with, I ask a lot of questions. So if there's anything that I have, you know, I'm gonna just know I'm looking at you. I'm paying attention, you know.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Well, I will we'll stay in contact, and don't be a stranger. And yeah, I like the women empowerment thing. I got 2 daughters and a wife, so
Yes.
they on board. And I got I think most of my teams are female ran, because I just found out that's how you have high success rates, is let the women do their thing. So so we'll connect. Just make sure we stay in contact, and especially if we're in the same city, I'll introduce you to some of these places and people where I think might be beneficial for you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
All right, sis, I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay cool, and I'll let you get to your next big thing. Okay.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon, sis.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.